Hello and welcome to the second episode of Maynooth University Library's Collection Spotlight video series. For this episode, we are joined by our very own conservator, Gretchen Allen, who will be discussing the Grubb Letters. The Grubb Letters are a collection of nearly 500 manuscript letters written by prominent Irish Quakers during the years of 1770 and 1830. The letters provide a look into the lives of many distinguished members of the Society of Friends and valuable insight into 18th century Quaker life. The Grubb Letters were acquired by Maynooth University in 2020 with the purposes of extended study and digitization. Now I'm going to pass it on to my colleague Gretchen, who is going to go into more depth about the collection and the conservation process.
Hi everyone, my name is Gretchen Allen and I'm a library conservator here at Maynooth University. I specialize in the conservation of books, paper objects, and other library and archival materials. What makes this collection unusual from a conservation standpoint is that the letters are actually bound into 5 volumes, rather than kept in their usual flat or folded format. Even more unusual is that, unlike your typical finished book, these letter books were never given covers. So this leaves the sewing fully exposed, which makes the structure of the book very vulnerable to damage. The only covering material is an end paper made from what appears to be waste paper, often large printed receipts from the General Post Office, or GPO. These end papers are wonderful historic artifacts as well. One even has a checklist on it for determining if someone is eligible for a military disability benefit. All of the material in the collection, with the exception of the printed covering paper, is manuscript text on paper, likely in iron gall ink, which was one of the most popular writing inks throughout history. Iron gall ink has been used for centuries. It is made by soaking oak galls, which are small growths that form on oak leaves where a wasp has injected its eggs. This liquid is then mixed with ferrous sulfate, an iron compound, hence the name iron gall. Due to the iron in the ink, iron gall ink can often cause problems as, like any iron, over time the ink can rust and corrode through the paper. You can usually identify iron gall ink by its brownish or grayish-black color. Luckily, the ink in these letters is fairly stable with no signs of imminent corrosion. In addition to their written content, some of these letters retain wax seals and postage stamps. The exposed style of binding left the letters exposed to heavy soiling, tearing, and loss. The letters are all of disparate sizes as well, which creates large gaps in the bottom of each text block where the dirt was able to collect. Several of the volumes have loose sections at the front. One of the volumes also suffered from extensive mold damage, leaving the paper very soft and fragile in the areas where the mold was. In addition, each collection of letters had a large modern adhesive label stuck to the front, as well as the page number stickers on every single letter. The Grubb Letters are midway through their planned conservation treatment, so I will walk you through some of what I've done with them so far. The letters were extensively surface cleaned to remove dirt and grime. The adhesive labels were carefully removed. That was over 500 stickers. The extensive creasing was relaxed and the letters flattened where possible. The presence of iron gall ink means that introducing any water-based treatment or adhesive could encourage corrosion, so the repairs were done using a solvent-based adhesive on specially prepared Japanese tissue. The loose sections will be reattached using the original sewing supports, which will then be threaded through a non-adhesive conservation binding to facilitate the extensive handling and digitization intended for the collection. The finished volumes will then be rehoused in bespoke archival boxes, all ready for the readers to study. I hope you enjoyed our look at the amazing Grubb collection today. When all the conservation work is finished, please feel free to make an appointment with our Special Collections reading room and view them for yourself, or you can view the digitized versions online. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again now that the library is reopening.
Well, that's it for this episode of Maynooth University Library's Collection Spotlight video series. We look forward to seeing you again for yet another episode. Thank y'all for dropping by, and take care.